What's good? What's good? What's good, people, traders, and dedicated gold chasers? Welcome back to another video at the Modern Day Trader, bro. Today is gonna be slightly different, as you guys can see. Live session with your boy Marcy. I've been wanting to do this, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I've been wanting to do one of these things, and so yeah, guys, just gonna jump on the charts, take a look at like the analysis, take a look at what's going on. It's London session in 30 minutes opens. Uh yeah, currently right now 8:30 in South Africa, South African Standard Time. And we'll check out exactly what's going on in the markets in a minute. Let me just share my screen. hmm Okay, I think I'm gonna put myself on blast, right? Let's go. So firstly, taking a look at the weekly time frame, just because it's Monday today, you need to kind of anticipate what could potentially happen for the rest of the week. Now, let me just put this here to bear in mind that anything that I do share doesn't constitute as any financial advice. All I'm doing is basically recording my process and doing what I been wanting to do for a minute. So yeah, let's jump straight into the weekly time frame, right? Yeah, jump straight into the weekly time frame and take a look at what exactly is going on so that we can get a higher time frame perspective with regards to what could potentially happen this week. Um, so what you can see is that price action had this initial bearish push to the downside a couple of weeks ago from like the 8th of July that week all the way down to the 5th of August. So we had 4 consecutive weeks of a very impulsive bearish push. And now what you can see is the price action had actually missed the double bottom. We have a missed double bottom right here. We're in a key area in the market now where price action could potentially like either push to the upside, or if we do see a break, we could push to the push to the downside. You know what I mean? So with that being said, you do need to note that like where we're at within the weekly time frame, we could consolidate around those areas, right? Just note that, like, because like I know a lot of people will be able to say like, oh, the weekly is bullish. There's a high chance that we could continue bullish, which is true, like a 100% is true. But just taking a look at where price action is to be cognizant of like what could potentially happen is very key. So that's the weekly. Like I am with regards to structure, I am pretty bearish, sorry, just because if you look at structure as a whole, you can see that we had, so if I zoom out a bit, we had a high in the market right here where price action had actually, okay, sorry guys, just give me a minute. I'm getting a call. Sorry for that. Sorry for that. That's just, yeah. Uh, so you can see that we made this high. We then had a pullback in the market, creating this higher low. And then none of these actually constitute, in my opinion, as pullbacks. None of these yellow candles constitute as pullbacks or corrections in the market, just because I need a double correction before price action had actually broken a high. Now we could consider this right here as a double, like two two bearish candles under this high right here. So then that means this could be considered our previous higher low. And just in that, you can see the price pushed up, we pulled back, and then we pushed up. But for me, the clear and obvious one is this one right here. So we had the bearish break to the downside, and then what you can see is the price action had actually pulled back, and now I would anticipate the price would continue to the downside, right, with the break of structure. But it's unclear. We can come all the way up to here to mitigate the orders up here and clear imbalance, but that's yet to be seen as yet. And that's just like my view on the weekly. I'm not too clear on the weekly at the current moment, just because we are in a very, I don't know, like an area where we could consolidate. We could very well consolidate from this area, which I don't really like. But okay, we'll see like exactly what happens. Just based on candlestick formation, there's a high chance that we could push to the upside. If we base in the fact that like the next candle performs like the previous candle, there's a high chance that this candle could push to the upside, right? Okay, let's jump into the daily time frame and take a look at what the daily time frame could potentially do. So similarly to the weekly time frame, you can see that the daily time frame had actually broke structure. Let's see. We had a high in the market right there. Did we actually break above with this bodily close here? So what's this high? The high is 539. This close is 515. So we didn't break above there, right? So we can't necessarily say that this pullback is an actual pullback, right? So we're gonna go to the last known pullback, which would be this area right here. Is there any other close? Okay, no. So we can't say this actually constitutes as a pullback because it doesn't. And then you have this area in the market where price action could potentially, well, where we broke. You can see we're pulling back now. Now, just to get this clear, like we could pull back all the way into these areas right here, which I'm assuming is a 61.8 area. Because I'm like it seems like 50% would be in on these areas. Now, if you look at it from a daily perspective, right, you can see the price action had actually pushed very impulsive to the downside, and now we're in an area in the market where we haven't been in a minute, but you can see that like price action pushed off from this area very strongly, right? So that means that there could be something in this area where we could be like pushing to the downside again, especially with this impulsive move. But if we do clear this area, then I would be looking for price action to come all the way up into these areas right here. That's where I would be anticipating price action to come to. So around the 196,750 area, that's where I'd be anticipating price to get to. And then when you jump down to the 4H, so just note that the daily is bullish, right? The daily is bullish. Just note that. Now we're going to jump down to the 4H to check what the 4H. So previous 4H had closed bullish, right? Which is key. Previous 4H had closed bullish. So now we already have the daily and the 4H green, and we know that there's chances of price action potentially pushing to the upside. We don't know what the chances are yet because we haven't checked our 4H correlation. We haven't checked our Excel sheet. By jumping into 4H time frame analysis, what I can do is I can bring that area all the way up to there. All we're going to do on the 4H is just note that yes, we are making higher highs, higher lows. We need to come into an area where price action could potentially like fail, and I think we just about missed in that area. So there's a high chance that price action could still go up into that area, in my opinion. Like we could come down, create a lower time frame correction to then impulse to the upside, whether it be in this session or in New York session. I'm not sure, but we will keep an eye on it, right? So we know we have the daily and the 4H green. Now let's check if we have 4H correlation, right? So that's 2 out of the 3 candles. So we have pound yen being bullish and we have pound USD being bullish. What that essentially means is that we have a strong pound in the market, and sentiment is stating that like there's a high chance that the next candle could potentially push bullish on the basis that we have a strong pound. Now let's check if the yen is weak. So you can see the previous 4H candle, bullish, 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 and bullish. So as you guys can see, there's a like we have the daily and the 4H agreeing on pound USD, and then we have the 4H correlation. Now, something that I don't really like is the fact that this uh this directional bias that we have is essentially only a 63% chance of determining what the next 4H candle can do if the next 4H candle is in a move in our direction. Now, it's still more than 50% in hindsight, right? But like really and truly, we don't know what's gonna happen. Like we don't have that like extra confirmation of a 60% or like a 75, 80% chance. And I know there's gonna be a really good week. So we don't necessarily just want to be taking trades that are like not in alignment with what we potentially doing. So yeah, yeah. Anyway, now let's jump onto the 15-minute time frame to just do our like actual trading analysis for the day. So jumping onto the 15-minute time frame, it's pretty simple. You can see that price action has been bullish all along, and now all you need to do is determine where your breakout structure is, your breakout area, and then your double bottom area. So you can see that this was previously a higher low, a higher high. We then formed a new higher high above there. So that's our breakout structure area in the market. And then this would then be our area where we would be looking for breakouts, the bodies of these candles right here. And I'd call that my 15-minute level, right? And then just to go back to find the last known lower high, which would be these areas here, in my opinion, right? Let's just go down onto lower time frames just to see exactly like where the imbalance is. So you can see the 5-minute has no imbalance. Let's go to the 1-minute time frame. Go back. You can see the 1-minute actually has imbalance, right? So we can put that there. So there is chances of price action coming down to fill that imbalance. Now, I don't necessarily trade imbalance. I just like that there is imbalance in my double bottom and double top areas in the market, right? So that's what I always look for, just like added confluence, in my opinion. So these are the two areas that I could be essentially like looking for trades from is the breakout area right here. So we're looking for price action to clearly break and close above these like the 240 area. So let's set this 240, clearly break and close above that area. And then with these double bottom area, what we're basically looking for is for price action to, so what's that, 190.980. We're looking for, okay, no, that's way too in there. There we go. Continue anyway. So we're actually looking for price action to come all the way down into these areas right here. Then we're looking for a shift of 1-minute structure, number one, a 15-minute bullish close, number two, and then we can then start anticipating that price action will continue to the upside. So number one is firstly we'd firstly be looking for a bullish break of structure on the 1-minute time frame. Then number two, we'll be looking for a 15-minute bullish close after that. And then thereafter, you can start anticipating the price action will continue all the way from here to at least test these highs for 117 pip move. Now, the good thing is that we're pulling back pre-London. And I think like if we are gonna pull back all the way into that point of interest, like I think the high chance, I don't know what Sam usually calls this, but there's like the opposite thing that usually happens to like what you're anticipating. Okay. But yeah, that opposite thing to what we usually anticipating to then continue to the upside, right? So that's what I'm basically looking for. Yeah, protection. Let's see what Sam's saying. Clean analysis. My sentiment is very similar. Neutral overall as the higher time frame. The high time frame is tricky, bro. Could go both ways. That's exactly what I was saying at the start of the live. So looking at low time frame development to guide the narrative. Okay. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. Uh, yeah. And then the word that I was talking about, shout out Sam, bro, protection. So yeah, we can see that price action is actually protecting lower, and I'm anticipating that if we do fill these points of interest with the double bottom, sorry, then there's a high chance that we could then take the London open volume to the upside. So we'll see how that plays out. Uh, yeah, yeah. Like a lot of like my, and Sam knows a lot of like the way I trade is not necessarily SMC, but it kind of falls in the scope of SMC. I just like I don't necessarily like take note of too much of the then like the actual names of things, you know what I mean? Like the obviously I take note of the imbalance just because of like what I like anticipate with my double bottoms or like my points of interest, what I needed to be there in order to have like a valid point of interest. Now, when this thing falls all the way down to like 191 round number, I highly doubt it will. But if it does, hey, I'm gonna stay ready. So I don't have to get ready. You know what I mean? Stay ready so you don't have to get ready, man. But yeah, hey, Samo, I hope it's a profitable week, bro. This week, I think it could be a good one. Uh, Obviously, like I think that with where the market is from a higher time frame perspective, it could get very difficult for just for pound yen in general. So like it could be a very slow week, and this month has been pretty slow. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, we'll see exactly what price action can do and how it plays out. And yeah, we'll see. Uh, yeah, guys. So now all we do is we wait. Literally, we just wait. And oh, let me show you guys this. So I wanted to show you guys. Uh, I wanted to show you guys this right here. So if I share my screen and I show you the bias building, you can see for week 4, which is the week that we're in right now. So if I just okay, you guys can't see the calendar, but you can see that we're actually in week 4 for the month. And uh, on Monday, which is today, obviously, we have a 63% potential directional bias that we could like determine the next candle, the next 4H candle, which is not the highest, to be honest, amongst all like the others, which is 100% and 75%. But like, okay, we take it in stride and we see like what exactly happens. So yeah, we'll see exactly how it plays out, and if we can take advantage of something, we will take advantage. If we can't, then oh well, so well, man. Like it just is what it is, you know what I mean? So yeah, I can close this for now, just because we took a look at it. Let me stop sharing. Let me present my charts once again, and boom. Okay, just give it a minute. All we do now is we wait. And this is trading, bro. Like there's no special like thing that you do. You just wait, bro. You do your analysis, you wait, and patience pays. Remember that patience pays. Uh, Took me a long time to understand that, but patience pays. Essentially, what we're going to be looking at is something somewhat like this price action pulling back into the point of interest filling imbalance. Then we see a push to the upside with a break of structure, a pullback to fill that imbalance, entry above these highs in anticipation that if we do break, we will then continue to the upside, right? Uh, yeah, these lows are quite low for to fall like in the current 4H and to push to the upside. but we do still have in the current 4H, we have like 2 hours and 10 minutes. So let's see if we can get in there in the next 2 hours. I will end this live at about 10:30. So in the next hour and 40, if we don't get a trade, we don't get a trade. If we do get a trade, though, we get a trade and we're on, baby. So we'll see. We'll see how things play out and what exactly happens. I don't know, but we'll see. You know what I mean? We got the lot size calculator right here. We obviously risking 0.75. $15, 15 pips. I just put that there just in case. It could be a 20 pip stop. And then you see that the lot size changes at the bottom. This position size calculator is free. So everybody who needs a position size calculator, you can go ahead and do or take a look at my FX book position size calculator. Now let's get on to chatting about like how I passed my 10K verification account. My 10K verification account is like done. I know you guys didn't get the update as yet. I will post it today, but it is like I passed, bro. I still can't fathom I passed. Like, yeah, it's quite a good feeling, bro. It's really a good feeling just to like be able to be able to like know that what you're doing works. It's like something different. That's what I can say. To be able to know that like the approach you have in the market has been like proved essentially is really something different. And yeah, like that's something that like I think is it's just like I don't know how to explain the feeling, bro. It's really good. Like there's nothing that like nobody can give you that feeling that like discipline. Nobody can give you that feeling of like you put the work in, like you didn't cut no corners. Nobody like gave you any shortcuts. And I'm not gonna lie, if I personally like knowing what I know now, I would have probably told myself at the start, like, hey bro, just like get a mentor, like do research, get a mentor. Like it's gonna make your trading so much easier. It's gonna make it so much easier. And like yeah, it unfortunately didn't, like, because I didn't get a mentor. I did everything on my own. Now I'm not saying that like, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that I did everything on my own. I learned from people on YouTube, and I learned from people like through reading Mark Douglas and everything. But like I feel like that if I got a mentor and I got like these other like these other things, that it would have sped up the journey so much more. Do you know what I mean? Like you would have had like, hey, I feel like I would have like been able to cut corners and fast track things way faster. But I wouldn't change my journey for shit, that's for sure. Like I wouldn't change my journey for anything. And just like yeah, yeah, just being able to let things play out the way it needs to play out and continuing to keep my head down. And that's what I'm going to continue doing. The reason why you guys haven't seen a update on the live account from FDMO as yet is that like there's this thing that FDMO calls your identity essentially, right? And a FDMO identity is essentially like what you're going to be trading as in FDMO. So there's three options. There's an individual, there's self-employed, and then there is basically a company. And those are the three options. The problem with it is that like once you decide to be one, you can't change. Like you can't change your identity from one thing to another. So obviously, like I'm out here. I didn't have a company that was like up and ready to go, and so I had to obviously start my company because looking further into the future, like yes, it's a $10,000 account, but like looking into the future, if you get like four, 500,000, 600,000 from FDMO, then like you're gonna be looking at like big withdrawals, and if those things are coming into my personal account, the taxes on that's gonna be mad. Like I'm gonna cut up like by three, four, five brackets, and now all of a sudden I'm getting taxed at 45%, and half the money is going to SARS, and like you know what I mean. That just doesn't make no sense. So I'd rather cap it at 27%, which is like a company's tax. So take the time to essentially like get registered on CIPC, get my SARS things in order, and get everything that FDMO needs in order to have like my company registered as like a valid identity, and then start trading. Hopefully by the end of September, I'll have everything together, and yeah, yeah, hopefully. I feel like they should have these things at the start. Like when you start trading, like they shouldn't leave this for when you in the process of like passing, bro. Now you find out about these things. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Like because getting taxed, obviously I don't know how it works in in other countries, but like in South Africa, when you do pass, like bro, you don't want to be getting taxed 45%, bro, just because you made 500 thou. Like, hey, because if you think about it, like 600,000 in USD is 10,000 rands, bro. And if you make 1% on 10,000 rands and you make 1% for 6 months, you're making 600,000 already. If you make 3%, you made 300,000. So, like, yeah, bro, yeah, you you really just want to be like set up for success. And my accounting teacher always used to say, if you fail to plan, no, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That's what she used to say. She used to put it like at the bottom of our exams and like all our tests that we used to write in high school. And yeah, that saying has stuck with me for like pretty much my whole life, bro. Pretty much my whole life, bro. But yeah, yeah, it's the vibes. You can see we're still pushing to the downside. We'll see what's up, bro. It's early in the week. You don't have to be executing, but if things do meet like your criteria, then why not just do it, man? Just do it, bro. So we'll see exactly like if price action. How much pips is this? This looks like 50 pips to the downside. 46. Oh, it's close. 46 pips to the downside that we still need to get in order to like even potentially get a trade, bro. Goddamn, bro. That's a big movement to the downside. But we can see, like, I know there's gonna be London volume in the next 2 minutes. Hopefully, grabbing all of these stops below these areas right here, grabbing all those stops below those areas, and then pushing to the downside, filling imbalance, and just grabbing like essentially like grabbing. Nah, I don't know what this is. I just put it there, bro, because it looks interesting. I'm not gonna lie. It looks clean though. That thing looks clean being there. Like that trend line right there, bro. Just looks fucking clean. I don't know what it is, but I'm assuming there's like certain stops below these areas or even like below this area. So if we do push down with London open, there's a high chance that we like obviously London volume, a lot of people's anticipating that price action is gonna continue down, maybe get a breakout of these higher lows, and then after that higher low breaks, you then see like people getting sell stops, sell side liquidity in the form of sell stops and essentially stop losses, right? So yeah, like the breakout people here have the stop losses below here. So yeah, we'll see. I don't really trade with that in mind. All I trade with is structure. If structure holds here, then we should then continue to the upside. That's all I'm thinking of. That's all I'm doing, bro. Let's see. Let's see, man. See what's up. See what's up. Let's see what's up. How do you do a poll? How do you do a poll, bro? Can you do a poll? Yep, I don't know how to do a poll, but okay, there has to be some way to do a poll. I wanted to do a poll to ask like what you guys think is gonna go bullish after it gets into these areas. Is it even going to get into the double bottom areas? But like we'll see. There's that London volume. There's the London volume. Let's see if we can continue to the downside. We still have a good 50 pips to push to the downside, maybe 45. You know what? I could do this for the rest of my life, bro. I could be on live. I could be trading live, bro. I mean, it holds me accountable. Uh, Definitely gonna be making more money than my job. That's for sure. So, yeah, I could do this, bro. I could definitely do this. Like, I wouldn't mind just like sitting down and really just like sitting down and trading and then going to gym and then coming back doing the second session and then yeah, seeing how it goes, bro. Now if this thing can come in here before 10:30, that will be amazing, just because like at 10:30 I don't want to be trading the last candle of the 4H really. So there is that London volume that we're anticipating coming to the downside, bro. There we go. There we go. That's what we were anticipating the whole time, bro. Let's fucking go, mate. Let's go, bro. Now, just bear in mind that, as I mentioned, we don't have a super high chance of determining directional bias on this 4H candle. But I do think the setup is worth it. I think trading this on an intraday basis, on a session basis, should be calm and should be clean. So we'll see. We'll see. London Open is doing exactly what we anticipated. So, I mean, if we do fall and we come into an area where price action has failed to break below for some time, there should be at least like some type of reaction from it and some type of essentially like from a 1 minute perspective, some type of structure being formed to the downside. With the reaction, we get the pullback, we have our entry there, stop loss below. Sorry, stop loss below anticipated higher lows, and then you just anticipate the price action will give you enough of a push to at least give you a break even trade, right? And if we do get that, then we should be calm. What is this looking like? Just so that we can kind of anticipate stops. That's a 16 pip zone right there that we have. So very interesting, because it looks like we're going to be having like quite big stops. Now, I don't trade limit orders. I don't trade the way majority of I don't trade SMC, as I mentioned. So I don't trade limit orders. I won't be doing this. Like, I will not be doing this where you have a limit order and then you targeting those based off from a limit order. I don't do that. I need, as I mentioned, I need the confirmation of price action getting into the area first. And then after we get into the area, let me take this off because I don't know what that is. I just put that shit there because it looks clean. But like, I need price action to firstly get into the area. Obviously, as we get into the area, we'll be forming 1 minute structure, and you can see that we're forming 1 minute structure as we speak right now. That's the last known lower high, because we broke below this lower low right here. So that's the bearish POS, breakout structure, and then this right here is our last known low. If we can get a breakout structure once again, that to me will indicate that we do still have that bearish pressure to push to the downside, right? And as we push to the downside, what you will start to see is that this structure essentially is holding as we come to the downside. And that's what we need. We don't trade buy limits and sell limits, essentially. We need this to happen, then we need that to happen, a pullback after we break structure right there, and then you take a buy stop above these areas after the 15-minute close on, like, out of this area. So then this will usually be indicative of a bullish engulfing candle, or like a doji candle, because we could have pushed to the upside and it came down, and then like you have essentially like an indecision in this area after getting into this area, and that's all you're looking for, bro. This will then be your bullish break of structure right here, and then you start anticipating that if we do break above these 1 minute highs, you now have a continuation of the trend to push to the upside, and that's what we're looking for. So we're looking for price action to continue with this London open momentum to the downside, to then have this halt of, or like the calming of the trend to the downside on the 1 minute, shift of structure to the upside, and then the 15-minute close, and then we can start anticipating the price action will go up, and that's what we need. So if price action actually breaks below here, that will be our last known lower high. We'll have a break of structure right here, which we do have now. So now what we can do is we can do this. This will be called our break of structure. We bring this one down because that's now our new lower high, and you can see the price action is just moving clean. It's moving so clean, but that's what we can anticipate from what could potentially happen in this London session. We have, as I mentioned, we have a bullish bias from a higher time frame perspective. We have a bullish bias. We're just waiting for price action to get into an area of interest before we can actually trade. Now you can see that the 15-minute breakout level is way too far, so we won't be anticipating breakouts. We will be anticipating bounces off from the point of interest or out of the point of interest. If you guys have any questions with regards to the analysis, just let me know. And also, as you guys can see, the disclaimer at the bottom, it's not financial advice at all. It's just me trading live, recording the process, bro, and we'll see how this goes. You can see that we have our alerts ready. So once the alert goes off, that's when we go into the 1 minute to just verify where the last known lower high is, as I was doing now on the 1 minute time frame. You guys can see that's right now is my last known lower high, because we have the break of structure right here. So we have the break and close below structure. I would like price action to essentially push a bit to the downside the way it's doing now, hopefully form a level closer to this area. So even if we push all the way into here, pull back, and then push to break these lows, so then now we have essentially structure that's closer. Then when we push up, like, we won't have too big of stops. Essentially, this area already is like 16 pips. The most that I can do with my stop loss is go 30 pips, but we'll see. And we'll be targeting these 15-minute highs that we form, these 15-minute body highs, if we do get into this area. If we don't get into the area, then it just is what it is. But as you guys can see, we're about like 15 pips away from the area. And this is, if you guys go to the start, I was anticipating that London open volume will do this, and we'll see exactly what happens when we get in this area. Now, even though we only have a 63% chance of the next 4H candle closing bullish, what you know is that after an impulsive move, there is usually correction, right? So when price action do get into this area right here, as I mentioned before, like, the chances of us essentially bouncing off from this area is high, just on the basis that we had this impulsive move. And off from that bounce, you just need to be able to kind of anticipate if you can get a break even. And if you can get a break even, then like you could, you know what I mean? Because then whether price action pushes all the way to the upside or not, at least you have no exposure in the market. So that's what we're trading for today. We're just looking for price action to come into these areas, and that's a good pullback that we're having right there. Good pullback on the 1 minute time frame. If we can get another, so the way I constitute a correction or pullback, I need two candles in the opposite direction. So I need two bullish candles, and then we can push to the downside into these areas. So yeah, guys, as you guys can see, we're pushing very clean, just as anticipated. London open volume pushing down into the point of interest, and then thereafter we'll see what we can anticipate to like out of this area. If we just push down from a 15-minute perspective and we actually take these lows out. Now these lows are the higher lows from the 15-minute level. As you guys can see, this low is what formed this higher high, right? If we just close below these areas, then I can might as well close my laptop down and walk away. Now, what we can do is we can push down into here and then close in these areas. Then the next candle could push down, forming new 1 minute structure, but then we could close above. And in that case, I can still take the trade just because the 15-minute is still holding structure, right? So yeah, guys, any questions with regards to the analysis as we start to or get to the point where we're entering the point of interest? Really just a waiting game. It's really just a waiting game. Also, if you are trading, just remember that this is how we calculate our lot size. You can see we're trading $100,000. Okay, boom, we got the alert. So we actually in the point of interest now. I don't like the fact that structure is that far. So I'm hoping that or from this point of interest, we can get two bullish candles, get the pullback, form these lows. Sorry, guys. Form these lows right here, then break, but hold this level, and then break structure. Then we wait for the 15-minute close. But we can only anticipate that this becomes a level once we get two bullish candles in the opposite direction. Just remember that. But this is good. This is really good. We're in the area now. We're in the area where we could start anticipating trades, right? Which is the important thing. Now, what is the plan? The plan, firstly, as I mentioned, is for the pullback, which is two bullish candles. So we have one bullish candle. Then this becomes a level. Once this, if this candle can close bullish, this then becomes a level where I'm going to be anticipating a break below on the 1 minute time frame, right? And if we get that break and close below, it can't be a wick. It can't be a wick. It needs to be an actual close like this candle, right? Then once we get that, you anticipate that hopefully price action closes above this area on the 1 minute. We'll then essentially have a bullish break of structure, and then you wait for and you anticipate the 15-minute to close bullish. And once that happens, we should get a pullback that creates the 15-minute wick, and we can start anticipating upside structure essentially. Because then what you'd have is you'd have the first break of structure right there. Then you'd have the second break of structure, with this being your new higher low essentially, and price action shouldn't break below there. What is that? Is that a bullish or bearish candle? Fuck, it's bearish. Fuck. Okay. Hopefully we get a bullish candle, and we'll just wait. We just need to wait for the second bullish candle, bro. As long as the candle closes bullish like above here, we should be fine. Let's go standard. Then we should be fine. But that's ultimately what we're looking for. If we do just continue, then it's tough, because then I'm gonna have to wait for price action to actually break above here, which is the actual structure. That's why I'll be like a 50 or 1 minute close bullish in and around here. We have 19 seconds left on this 1 minute time frame, 1 minute candle. If we can close bullish above these lows, that will be perfect, bro. That will be perfect. Like, yeah. So we'll see. You guys have any questions? Go ahead. What pairs are you guys trading? Oh shit, man. Damn, that's wild. But okay. So what you guys can see now is if I delete these, we have bullish. Oh, okay. We have that bullish uh close right there. So we have that. We're probably gonna close below here. And as I mentioned before this, as long as like this 15-minute don't actually close below here, we can still trade. Now I anticipate that we are gonna push to the downside. Uh but as long as this 15-minute don't close below these areas, if it closes below these areas, the session's pretty much done and we can walk away until the next session, wait for the 4H close and check what happens in the next 2 hours. But if it closes above, what is this level? What is this low? 190, 190, 900. If we close above that area, then essentially what we would do is we would break these 1 minute highs. This is a break of structure. So let me mark it as a break of structure. Take this off. Now we're just pushing with tons of momentum to the downside. Personally, I don't trade in the opposite direction of like my directional bias. So I won't be looking for sells. I just plainly look for buys, and we'll see exactly what happens. Let me add my alert right here. Add an alert at what price is this? The high is 191,135. So we can put that at 140, maybe at 135 actually. Create. Boom. And now we just wait, bro. Now you just wait. Shout out to both people that's watching. Drop a comment there if you are trading. Drop a comment if you're not trading too, and just say something, bro. But don't worry about it, bro. We'll see. If we catch a live trade today, we catch a live trade. If we don't, it is what it is. Yeah, it just is what it is. What you guys can see is that this 1 minute push from these highs to that low was 42 pips, bro. That's madness. Like, that's madness. My stop definitely can't go below here. So what I'd be looking for is a push to the upside, a clean break of structure. No, I'm not in. I'm not in. So what I'll be looking for uh, is a push and a clean break of 1 minute structure at a close above that area, a pullback first because this stop would be way too big. I don't want a 40 pip stop. As I mentioned earlier, my max stop loss is 30, right? So I can't take the trade without the pullback. So then I'll be waiting for the pullback. And then once the pullback happens, I'll enter with buy stops above these areas right here with my stop loss there, and then anticipating it to go to the upside. I'm not looking for sells, and I didn't get in on buys. So yeah, it's just a waiting game. Now, if this candle closes bearish, I don't know. Oh, Delami Isaac. If this candle closes bearish below these levels, then essentially I'm just gonna wait for the next, because then now what you can see is that my structure, we had the break of structure to the upside that formed a higher high. This is my higher low. If we close below these areas here, we breaking structure to the downside. There's a shift of structure and we go in bearish essentially, right? Then it's going to be pointless for me to stay on this live, just because then what is going to happen is that price action has shifted. You're going to start anticipating bearish structures, regardless if you're going to have a pullback and then a push. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So I essentially need this 15-minute candle to close above 190, 900. That's where I need it to close above. I need this 15-minute to close above 190, 900. Otherwise, we officially broke structure and we will be trading against intraday structures, which doesn't make sense to me personally. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But you can clearly see tons of the momentum is going to the downside. And yeah, it just is what it is. It's Monday today, guys. Just remember, it's Monday. There's tons of opportunities throughout the week. If you trade 2 sessions, you'll have 9 more sessions left for the week. If you trade 3 sessions, you'll have like 14 sessions left for the week if this one doesn't play out. I know a lot of people trade both sides, that once 15-minute structure breaks, they'll start anticipating sell-offs. But I personally don't do that, just because I found that like it's easier for me to like it's easier for me to find my mistakes when I have a set directional bias for a session. And that way, like, it's easier for me to journal things, it's easier for me to keep things consistent. So yeah, we'll see exactly like how things play out. If we can, I think we can close above 190, 900, bro. I think the best thing would be if we can break 1 minute structure now immediately with this impulsive push to the upside. And as I also mentioned, sorry, is that like when price action actually gets up into these areas right here, when we all get down into these areas, the chance of us actually having a mini correction, even if we don't get these highs, is quite high. And so if we get these mini corrections and we can get this close above like 190, 900, then we should then be able to see a push to the upside, even if it's just going to give us break even. All we need is a break even trade. And if we can get a break even trade, then we calm, bro. You know what I mean? Then we calm. So yeah. So yeah, guys. Yeah, guys. Let's see Wagwan. Let's see Wagwan. Any other questions? I'll let you guys. You'll be able to see if I'm in the trade or not. You'll definitely be able to see if I'm in the trade or not. We have 9 minutes left on this, or 8 minutes left actually on this 15-minute close. So let's see how it plays out. Let's actually go to the 1 minute to watch how things are playing out. So what you guys can see is that we'll officially have an area in the market where price action created. Actually, I can't put it there, but what I can do is I can put it here, down here. We have officially created a new lower low. And that's just on the basis that like we have two candles in pullback. So if we do break below here, we will then have this new lower low, and this will become a lower high. But now we can see price action pushing hopefully to the upside. Yeah. Do you guys have any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Hey. Yeah. Any questions? One of my mates actually alluded to the fact that uh that there is news today. There is news today, and that is quite sad. Well, in the session. So essentially what that means is that I can't actually take an active trade for the session. Yeah. So what we're gonna be doing is paper trading. We'll be paper trading the session and seeing what's up. Yeah. Now I'm actually hoping that like the 15-minute closes below this area, so then I'm like I can walk away with confidence in that like price action. Because now there's news, bro. Fuck. My plan doesn't constitute for the fact that I can trade through news, and I trade for all the news for pound too. So that is a bit tricky. Now I'm not gonna lie, I'm hoping for price to close below here, so then I can walk away. That's what I'm hoping for. Like in the next 5 minutes, price action closes below here, I can walk away knowing that like, hey, bro, like, yeah, it's easier. You know what I mean? Uh, but yeah, yeah. Uh, we'll see how this thing closes, and if it does close bullish, I mean bearish, sorry, below the 199 area, we'll call it a session. Maybe I'll pop back for the next session, depending on uh, how it closes. Just because if you do take a look at, let me show you guys. So let me stop share. If you take a look at this right here, which is what I use to give me what my percentage is, what price, or like what the next 4H could potentially do. If we do close bearish on the 4H time frame, you can see that we'll have a higher chance, and we get 4H correlation across all pairs. We'll have a higher chance than what we do have with daily and 4H correlation. We'll have a 75% chance of the next candle closing bearish, right? Now, yes, there is news in the next session. However, we can take a trade 1 hour before news in New York. So there is potential that we could trade. Now, if my day is not too busy, then I will jump on. Yeah. If it is, that is like, if it gets too busy, then yeah, it just is what it is, bro. We can't trade. Yeah. Let me jump on shading the charts again and see what's going on in the charts. Okay, it actually looks like it's pulling back, which is gonna be tricky, bro. Which is gonna be very, very tricky. If we do close, we like less than 10 pips below the area. Less than 10 pips below the area, which is mad. So I'm still not in, bro. I'm still not in a trade. I won't be taking a trade. I'll probably just paper trade this thing and see what's up. But the only way I'll be even considering a paper trade is if this 15-minute closes back in this area, above this area, and we have 3 minutes left. We need to move at least 9 pips to the upside. So we'll see what's up. Also, shout out to my boy Cop for just alluding to the fact that there is news. Otherwise, shit would have gone south. Well, I don't think it would have gone south because I'm still like taking the plan. But like, yeah, it's very, very, very key to check if there's red folder news, because red folder news really impacts the market and really just like, yeah, really moves the market. And like, there's a high chance that you will be like losing if you can lose or you can win, really. Like, but like the fact that like it's a 50% gamble, getting in when there's like news, that's the tricky part, bro. That's the tricky part. And just based off from my results also, like you really like my results personally, I tend to lose when there's news in London session. So yeah. But I'll stay on. If this thing actually closes above here, then I'll stay on and like paper trade it with you guys and see if it actually plays out. If it closes below this, then we'll just call it a day. I'm not gonna lie, I'm just fully taking advantage of being live while I'm not at work. Took off today. I might jump on a live tomorrow too, since it's a public holiday. And yeah, okay, we're getting what we want, guys. We're getting what we want, bro. So we'll see. We'll see if this can actually close. We have 1 more minute. We need a bullish candle. We need a bullish candle to close back in this area. We need a bullish candle, bro. Like, look at the 5 minute. You can see the 5 minute starting to pull back. We need a bullish 1 minute candle to close above 19900. That's our number that is essentially going to break this structure right here. 35 seconds, bro. Just push bullish, bro. Push bullish, bro. Come on now. Shit. Okay, I don't know if he's going to push bullish, but we'll see. We'll see. 23 seconds. I highly doubt that we're going to push bullish now. Unless we like get a real like pullback, bro. But you can see we have 10 seconds left. 10 seconds left. 5 seconds left. Are we gonna push up? 3 seconds? Nope, we're not. Boom, 15-minute closed. The chances of us now going up is very low. And you can even see with this 1 minute candle. It's so low. yeah. I'm glad that this happened. As I mentioned, there is news, which means essentially that I can't trade. Yeah, that's it is what it is, bro. That's what you do. Price action came into your level. Uh, I think the only other way you can actually trade this is if price has a break back inside on the 15 minute, but that's going to constitute like a bullish candle on the 15 minute. You can't even look on the 1 minute right now. We need like a solid bullish close into those levels again. But right now, price action had actually broke bearish structure, and you should be anticipating right now that we form this lower highs to then continue lower lows. And that would be my, because you can see now, as I mentioned, we still have this area that we could target here, but then you can see that in our nature of forming higher highs, higher lows, we slowed down over a 5 times 4, 20-hour period. We had slowed down in the market. We had a very big impulsive push to the upside. Then we had 20 hours of information where we slowed down. And now you can see we have this bearish engulfing candle, essentially one candle engulfing 20 hours of information. And you can see that we have this area in which we can test like today. So what would my plan be is if like price action closes like this and we get 4H correlation. What is 4H correlation? 4H correlation essentially is when we have 5 out of the 6 pairs closing page on the 4H. So let me show you guys the page. So we're already going to have pound yen. If pound yen closes like this, for instance, right? You'll have pound yen closing bearish. Then you're going to take a look at, you'll take a look at GBP USD, which looks like it's going to pretty much close bearish. You'll have EJ, which looks like it's going to pretty much close bearish. CJ, which looks like it's going to close bearish. UJ bearish, and then AJ bearish. So you have 6 out of 6 pairs that's pretty much bearish. So that speaks to the sentiment of the market. It speaks to pound being weak and yen being strong, essentially, right? And if in the next hour and a half price action actually closes like that, there's a high chance that you could start to anticipate that price action would come into these areas here, uh, just to like have a solid pullback, or even into these break and retest areas. But I think it will come slightly a bit lower into the 1900 or 189 500 areas before pushing to the upside again. Uh, and that's what I essentially would do. The only way, as I mentioned, I would be able to trade this is if we essentially get a bullish engulfing candle. Like if we engulf this candlestick right here and we break back inside, then you start to look for 1 minute structures, and then you can start to anticipate that we're going to push to the upside. But as of this moment, we're bearish, and that's how I'd be looking at the charts. If you guys don't have any other questions, I think from myself, I'll I'll call it a day or a session, just because like there's nothing else I can do in the session. Price action, shifted structure. We need to practice discipline, because over everything else as a trader, the only thing that keeps you in the market is discipline. The only thing that keeps you in the market is following your plan. And yeah, so if you guys don't have any other questions, any other comments, then yeah, it's pretty much gonna be me calling it a day. And yeah. So we'll see how things play out. If, as I mentioned, if we do close bearish, which it looks like on the 4H at 11 o'clock in the next hour and a half, all you need to do is anticipate like where price action could pull back or where price action could break, and then start to anticipate that those areas are areas of, if it's going to break out, continuation to push to the downside, or if we're going to pull back, where can we pull back to? Where's the last known lower high in the market where we could pull back to? So yeah, guys, from your boy Marcy at the Modern Day Trader, it's been a good laugh. Sorry that we didn't get any trades. It is what it is. Yeah, if I have time later, I will jump on another live. If I don't, then I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Hope you guys have a profitable week too. And from your boy Master at the Modern Day Trader. Peace out, man.